attitudes, criminal skills, and a kind of criminogenic complex. That's another sort of linkage between the experience of punishment and reoffending, an increased risk of reoffending. It may be, at least in part, an increase in skills, confidence, and attitude that give rise to the offender that strengthens as a result of especially something like a prison experience. That's one possibility. A third possibility relates to employment. And the labeling theory specifically points to structural barriers between human identities clearly works. Clearly, what's going on there, at least in part, right? You experience a negative label, you internalize the label, you pay for it. But then you also have these structural barriers that can be placed that can make your life if you've gone to prison, but just in general, among people who've been convicted felons. You have people who go to prison who typically have pretty shaky job skills in the first place. It varies a lot by prison, but most prisons don't have the funding, and but most prisons don't have the funding to be able to provide really robust job training that happens in prison. So what happens instead is that you have people who go through the prison system, and they were already sort of marginal for ability to land good, high-paid jobs. And you're taking them away from their sort of skill networks that are going to help them succeed in that dimension of lives. Instead, placing them in a place with other people who share these kind of deviant attitudes that emphasize things like delayed gratification is nonsense, all the kind of things that we just talked about. Those attitudes there, maybe a little offended. Things like hard working. Why is it like trying to get a job after? It's going to be really difficult. So to address the employment issue, whether or not employment matters between prison and recidivist, between prison and reoffending, or between a felony conviction reoffending, we have to account for a few different possibilities. One possibility is something we've already talked about in the topic, and that's selection bias. It could simply be the case that people who get felony convictions and then go to prison are unlikely to be successful in the job market. They're probably low in agreeables. They're low in conscience. They're low in self-control. These are not traits that allow somebody to be a good citizen, right? So maybe it's not that prison is doing anything. It could just be that they're the same sort of person they were coming out when they were going. So prison does nothing. That's the selection bias argument. These are really good to know, for example. But selection bias argument, the selection effect here is that it's selective for people. People who go to prison are not random. They're less likely to be successful. So it looks like, there's this big prison effect, but really it's just that they're a really select, non-random group of people. We're less likely to be successful in the employment market in the first place. The second argument, kind of the thing that we've been implying at least, is that there can be a transformation process that happens. You are different in terms of your personhood in all different kinds of ways coming out than you were going in. Your attitudes are different, your perspectives are different. The kinds of people you interact with are different. You've lost access to those pro-social. It's a kind of transformation. Two different ways that prison can transform you and make you a different person. That's a possibility. Prison can make things worse rather than better by simply doing a personal transformation that happens with it. That makes one less likely to be employable. That could happen too. There could be a transformation that happens. It could be selection, it could be transformation. The third possibility is that it could be what's sometimes called as reverse prevention. What this means is, what if you're basically the same as an individual going into prison as you are coming out? Say no change happens in terms of your person. Well, something has changed. Even if you are exactly the same, let's just pretend that you're exactly the same thing out as you were doing. Okay. You have something new attached to you. You now have a criminal record. That criminal record is going to be something that job uh, holders, employers, are going to be looking for. They're going to be asking you about it. Even if you're the same, even if you are the exact same person, you may not be. Coming out of prison as you are going in, we know that employment discrimination happens against criminal record. We know that happens. And there's several reasons that we know that it happens. One is that we've done experiments. I'm not the person, but we as a field have done experiments where you like randomly send out to all different kinds of employers like fake CVs, fake resumes. Some have criminal records and some don't, and they're exactly the same. Count the number of callbacks you get with each resume. And lo and behold, those who are who have these prior prison experiences, those are the ones who are less likely to get callbacks. We know experimentally, yes. We know this, that there is employment discrimination. Not just selection, not just transformation. There is something what's called reverse credentialing happening as well. Being a felon carries a stigma, and that stigma is consequential to finding employment. Well, all of these can co-occur, but there can be selection effects, there can be transformation effect, and there can be reverse credentialing. All of them. So what are we supposed to do? What is the policy implication of this? One instance is we can pass a law that says employers aren't allowed to ask. Employers aren't allowed to ask whether you have a record or not. This is sometimes known as banning the box. Banning the box, the checkbox where you indicate that you have a criminal history. Very controversial, certainly. Could be a great hack question. If this is something that's interesting to you, I did post a supplemental video by Steve Raphael about all the things you'll find interesting if this is if you're like into this area. But it sounds good, and that's it sounds good. Let's prevent the reverse credentialing from happening. There's two problems with this banning the box proposal. There's two unintended consequences, collateral consequences of banning the box. So yeah, we have like the thing that happens and then the solution to those problems. This is a big problem in public policy. There are two problems. The first problem is that criminal record information is really easily available. You can Google somebody and find their mugshot in mere seconds, right? So even if you don't ask them, you can find out. It's pretty easy. There are companies that do it. It's available for free. It's very easy to find criminal record information. So you can like wink, wink, not ask. So you can kind of do your own sort of like investigation. I mean, I really don't. You can totally do it really. And there's no law. I mean, there's currently no law, but it would be really impossible for a law to be enforced such that like all mugshots that are publicly available need to come out. It's just not possible. The internet is too huge, it's too big and fire. The second problem is that in the absence of information about the criminal records of job applicants, employers tend to discriminate against black men. Employers tend to discriminate against black men in the absence of information about criminal records. Because employers are more likely to assume that their black male applicants are probably good. From this Raphael article, again, very good, I learned. Employers try to indirectly encourage this first things wait on recipients, those personal and application characteristics that are correlated to the likelihood people tend to associate race and crime and race and criminal history in their lives. And so this can make employment discrimination along racial lines worse. And you might think that's kind of distracting. And I was sort of along the lines like, the evidence actually about this is really clear. When you ban the box on the job application, it makes employment discrimination worse. It's really clear when this happens. It's shocking to me. I did not believe it, but it's true. And the evidence is really, really. So limiting employment is possible. Employment mechanism is one potential action. So preventing a positive turning point from happening for a lot of people. That can lead to a relationship, statistical association between experience and punishment and an increased likelihood of benefit. Or relates to weakening family and civic life. Lot that we can say about that. We know that incarceration weakens family bonds. It makes the likelihood of divorce more likely. It's particularly hard on children, especially if we're talking about an incarcerated father. Weirdly enough, the effects of the incarcerated mother will be weaker than maternal incarceration. Um, it brings shame and stigma that may be kind of vicarious. Yeah, the incarcerated person, but also family members. A study that I'm so busy. It's also a weird time of the semester, I'm not able to do it. But I have the analyses they've got. Nobody knows that there's no one. Having a family member who's incarcerated, you're a kid, you're a middle school, high school, you're more likely to get suspended from school and mad at your own behavior. Like teachers and school administrators, it seems based on my data, are discriminating against kids who have incarcerated parents. No research suggests that, and it's worse for white girls, by the way, which is very interesting. I think for these same kind of things, you kind of all if you're like a racist teacher or administrator, you might be assuming that all black students have incarcerated parents. But the effects are biggest for white people. Anyway, we know that there's stigma that's attached that's associated with all members of the family, not just the incarcerated. This group of people that can be negatively affected by an incarceration experience that's not their own, they're sometimes called legal bystanders. They're called legal bystanders. They're just bystanders, but they still experience some kind of shame and stigma and sometimes barriers associated. These barriers can be reduced through visitation, but visitation is hard because prisons are typically out in the middle of nowhere. They tend to be really far from where people live. By time, they tend to be pretty far from where people live, and so as a result, visitation tends to be uncommon and a trail off the longer person. So that's an issue. Sorry. We can be sneak. The incarceration experience can weaken the social bond. Social bonds are a key for understanding crime. Another issue is that it can make, especially in last marriage, it makes it so that their future marriage prospects are lower. Marriage is a really important thing in your life. Talk about it. But having gone to prison can be not looked favorably upon by people in the dating market. Having been to prison is not necessarily something that you're looking for in a potential partner. So, ladies, my question for you: would you date somebody who's been in prison? Is that no? You would not? Would you yes. Anyone date a person who's been in prison? Okay. They kind of depend. Some things are worse than others. Well, certainly there are a lot of complications. Certainly there are a lot of complications. Yeah, another topic is nothing else about this side, which is side right. Yeah, maybe like this.